Good morning, y'all. It is kind of a gloomy morning this morning. We have lots of rain in the area, lots of storms on the way. So hopefully we don't get them quite as bad as what they're mentioning. But I am a little bit worried, but hopefully we'll be okay. I did want to show you. I think I'm 3 weeks now, 3 weeks since transplanting out. Kind of show y'all real fast what everything looks like. Then I want to talk to y'all about pruning tomato plants, whether they're indeterminate or determinate, and how we're going to handle that. This is what I have got growing on since my transplanting out approximately 3 weeks ago. um, Lots and lots of growth on all of my tomatoes. And then over here, my peppers, they are obviously a little slower to grow, but they have been growing quite a bit. I've actually been picking some of the flowers off just because they were already flowering. And I actually have a few peppers that I just don't have it in me to pick off. But as you can see, these tomatoes are growing really rapidly right now. And I need to get them pruned. I need to take care of the indeterminate tomatoes. First, we'll start with indeterminate tomatoes. Now, with indeterminate tomatoes, obviously they're going to grow throughout our growing season. Here in East Texas, July, August, they may get beat up. I'm going to use shade cloth this year to help them with that, and hopefully I will be able to carry them through the hot summer into the fall where they will really start producing again. It worked for me last year, and I'm going to try that again this year. But an indeterminate tomato like this sun gold right here is going to grow and grow and grow until it gets killed by the heat or a frost. Well, with indeterminate tomatoes, we don't necessarily want all of this lower growth. We want to prune back all of the lower leaves, to allow for them to focus on producing those tomatoes for us. As this gets taller and taller, we will have to trellis it a little better. Right now, I have everything staked up. I am planning to put in a new string trellis system. That'll be a future video. But with these indeterminate tomatoes, really what we're looking for is to prune back any of these lower leaves down here. And then as the tomato trusses come up, obviously we want to leave those. Another thing we want to look for on indeterminate tomatoes is the suckers. Um, some people would say leave them, but on indeterminates, I really feel like we need to remove those. We want this indeterminate tomato plant to concentrate on a single leader. What I am going to try this year, though, on a few of these, I have multiples of each variety of tomato. I'm going to try to double leader some of these. So I'm going to pick one of the lower suckers and let it go. And I'm going to treat it like a whole different tomato plant. So that is something to look forward to in future videos. Pruning these is really easy. I'm going to focus on these lower leaf stems and just trim them off. Now, I'm using some pruners. I do recommend cleaning these after every one. These are pre-cleaned, and I'm only going to prune this one for this video. But you want to try to cut it as close to the stem as you can, and that's it. What I'm going to do, like this one here, this is coming off of the base. I could use this one or this one. I actually, on this tomato plant, I have two very viable options for my 2 liter. So I'm going to leave this outside one because it's moving out to where I don't have another tomato. So that'll give me room to bring this one up, and I'll trellis him right here, right alongside this one, and we'll have a double leader. But that said, I'm going to now cut this one right down here at the bottom, just like that. We'll get this one out of there. We'll get this one out of there. You want to make sure that you're not doing any damage to the stem of the tomato plant for obvious reasons. But let's get this one. This is another good option, but he's pointing back. This one's pointing back towards another tomato plant, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that one as well. And get this one. You can see these tomatoes have really been actively growing since I transplanted them out. This is all new growth that I'm cutting off. It's been very impressive. I'm gonna go ahead and take my clip off right here. We'll move it up to the top. Well, maybe. I do like these clips, although sometimes they are a little persnickety to get off. We'll move that up here. I'm gonna go a little bit higher for now. Again, these are pretty new, so maybe I don't want to trim it or prune it all the way to the top just yet, but I'm gonna get that one, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this one as well. So that's really it on these indeterminates. And as this grows taller, as the tomato trusses produce higher and higher up, I will continue to remove the lower leaves to help this tomato plant concentrate on the production of tomatoes. On this one, I'll show y'all a couple of really good examples of suckers. And these on indeterminate plants, these are things that we want to pick off too, right? They're going to grow into a whole new stem, a whole new tomato plant. So unless we're wanting to double leader our indeterminate tomatoes, let's go ahead and pick these suckers off. So I'll show y'all, you can see pretty easy. We have the main stem here. This is a sucker. This would be a whole new tomato plant. This is a sucker as well. So that's a whole new tomato coming off. So it's real easy at this stage to just pick these off. You can just pick them off with your fingers. If they get a little bigger, let's say you're gone for a few days or you haven't checked on your tomatoes in a few days, you may have to use some pruners to get them off. But this is a good idea on indeterminates to pick those suckers off. This bed here is full of my dwarf tomatoes from the dwarf tomato project. I get all my dwarf seeds from Victory Seed. I really like them, very high germination rates. And the tomatoes, these dwarf tomatoes have really become my favorite tomatoes. I think I might be addicted to the dwarf tomatoes. Now, all of my dwarf tomatoes are determinate tomato plants. With a determinate, they're only going to grow to a specified size. Now, these are dwarfs. They're only going to get 2 to 3 feet tall. Some of them not even 2 feet tall. But with a dwarf tomato, you don't want to prune any suckers or really any leaves other than the very lower leaves. Obviously we want to prune the lower leaves that are close to the ground back. Now we do that because as it rains, the soil may splash up on those lower leaves. And so it's important to remove them so that they don't get disease. If the lower leaves get disease, it's going to spread to the rest of your tomato plant. So on a determinate tomato plant, we really want to let them go, to let them bush out. That's going to mean more production. These determinate plants are going to only produce one good flush of tomatoes. They're going to put on all of their tomatoes within a few weeks of each other, and then those will ripen and then they will be done. And at that point, when I start seeing that getting close, I'll start more dwarf tomatoes. I carried, or I did that last year. I planted my dwarf tomatoes in the summer and carried them through the fall, and had a great fall tomato harvest using these dwarf tomatoes. So again, with the dwarf tomatoes, look for, or I'm sorry, with any determinate tomato, go ahead and trim those lower leaves, anything that might have ground contact or the water can splash up on, but let those determinate tomatoes go, and you'll find that you'll get more production out of them with all of the bushiness that they will provide. I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. That's a short video for you. I just wanted to explain to you the differences in pruning techniques between an indeterminate tomato and a determinate tomato, and how we need to be looking to do that for the health and vigor of our tomato plants. We just transplanted all these out. Everyone in Texas has probably got their transplants out. I know we got some really cold weather coming. I guess Sunday night and Monday night, they're expecting lows to be right around 40 here. I'm rolling the dice. I'm hoping that they will get through. They've had about 3 weeks of really good growth to get themselves established. I'm hoping 40 degrees does not hurt them too much. But that is what I'm going to be doing the rest of this weekend between rainstorms. I'm going to try to get these pruned back, start trying to get my tomato jungle, if you will, cleaned up, looking more tidy, and preparing to put up my string trellis. So that's how we want to prune our tomatoes. Thanks for watching. Look at my blueberries, y'all. Very excited about blueberries. Look at all of these blueberries coming. More and more. This plant over here is absolutely loaded with blueberries. Cannot wait for all of these guys to begin to ripen.